We have some company in from Florida, and so we've been to the Equestrian Center. I'll give you a few pictures from the competition that was yesterday. But we're really enjoying our friends from Florida. Haven't seen them in a couple of years in person, and so it's a good time of fellowship together. We're members of our church at Brandon, and it's good to have them with us for this week. We've been looking at the book of Ephesians, and we have enjoyed looking at to see the blessings that come from God, and also the prayer that Paul issued up for the Ephesians. And as he continues, I think it's important for you to realize that the original text of Scripture doesn't have chapters nor line verses marked in it, and so realistically chapter 1 and chapter 2 run right together, just as 3 and 4 and 5 do. So Paul continues with his kind of prayer for the Ephesians, but also it's quite interesting. There's kind of an outline here of before I met Christ, how I met Christ, and what life is going to be like hereafter. So let's take a look at Ephesians chapter 2 as we see that Paul describes our before Christ condition, and that's true of us as well as the Ephesians. You were dead in your trespasses and sins, in which you formerly walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of air, and of the spirit that is now working in the sons of disobedience. Among them we too all formerly lived in the lust of the flesh, indulging in the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, even as the rest. Now the good news is that beginning in verse 4 it says, but God. But we're going to do that one the next time we meet. Let's take a look at this. We were dead in trespasses and sin. And Romans clearly tells us that while we were yet sinners, when we were helpless. And it says we formerly walked in the course of this world. You only had to turn on the television today to see the shooting in Texas to know that we live in a wicked world. And the course of the world is headed, as described in Timothy, towards a terrible conclusion. And it says that we had the spirit of disobedience in our lives. We lived in the lust of the flesh, indulging in the desires of the flesh and the mind, and we were by nature children of wrath, even as the rest. Boy, we were in bad shape because there's some pretty wicked people out there. And then comes the good news, the but God. So here we had this picture in Ephesians 2, 1 through verse 3. We find the fact that what our life was like before Christ. Sin is anything that's displeasing to God, and we're all sinners, fall short of the glory of God. But God, that's the key word there, but God came into our lives, and that's the good news. So enjoy the pictures of the contest at the Tryon International Equestrian Center, and I'll be talking to you again soon in the next devotion. That's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.